Today, I'm going to talk about one of my favourite manga. This is a manga you can't really describe with words, and in fact, the manga has near to no words at all. Of course, the manga I'm going to be discussing is Blam. Blam is a 10-volume science fiction manga that was written by Tsutomu Nihei. Blam isn't a manga that is very heavily plot-based with a lot of dialogue. Instead, it's a manga that really lacks dialogue and plot, yet somehow manages to tell a story so beautifully. When hearing that Blam didn't have much dialogue, I thought, how would this work for a manga? When manga is mainly focused on plot and character development. But weirdly, it works so well for this story. What's so amazing about Tsutomu Nihei is the fact that he really doesn't need to use a single word at all to create his story, because the way in which he aligns the art of the manga works perfectly together. I guess what I'm kind of trying to say is the art of this manga is the story itself. When creating art for this manga, it was obviously so important to make the artwork stand out amongst other manga, since that was the main part of the story, the art. And my god, does it stand out. The artwork of this manga is some of the darkest and grittier work I've seen. In your typical shonen or shoujo manga, you'll typically have a lot of dialogue, which really helps the reader understand the scenes, and is what is considered a more important fact of manga. But with Blam, it really takes this important factor away. But it does it so perfectly, since the scenes are now not up to dialogue to explain what's happening. It's up to the reader, and they get to interpret what they want. They get to come up with their own conclusion in these scenes. They don't have to worry about the author. They have to worry about what they want to come up with themselves. With Blam, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for every manga reader, especially since this manga can get quite confusing and complicated because of the lack of dialogue, but I would recommend most of manga readers to at least give this manga an attempt, because this could end up being one of your all-time favorites like it did end up being mine. One of the things the author does well with this manga is he knows how to build this world. Even with little dialogue, he's able to put all of these manga panels together in a way that builds this world perfectly, which most manga, even with dialogue, struggles to do. And that's one of the most impressive parts of this manga, and I feel like Tsutomu Nihei deserves more credit for this. Realistically, I couldn't compare Blam to any other manga since it's so unique, and I haven't found any other manga that quite resembles it. There are a few manga that have little to no dialogue, but I haven't seen one that has been so successful in its storytelling like Blam. Speaking of the storytelling of Blam, the way in which this manga is written and displayed is so unique and creative, because not only does it feel like the author's work, it feels like partially the reader's work as well. In this manga, you're going to see scenes a lot differently to how another reader might, because these scenes are not supposed to be seen exactly the same. They are made for the reader to come up with their own conclusions and their own idea of what's happening. This manga feels a lot more personal to the reader, and it really allows you to be imaginative with a story that isn't your own. I really don't want to go into too much of a detail about this manga because, like I said at the start of this video, words really can't describe this manga. All I can say is, please, if you have the time, check this manga out and give it a read, because it is so worth your time. Oh yeah, and I did almost forget, Netflix have actually made an anime adaptation for this manga. I haven't watched it, and I don't think I'm going to. Like I say, I feel like it's more of a reading experience than anything else. I feel like creating an anime out of this manga really just takes away from why this manga was originally written. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like as well as subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. Bye!